Want to automate your business, side hustle, or daily tasks without writing a single line of code? In this video, I will show you how to use Make.com to build powerful automations from scratch. Even if you're a complete beginner, by end of this, you'll build something that feels like magic. And if you're more advanced, I've got a twist at the end that'll level up your skills. So let's go. So today we will talk about Make.com. So this will be in depth what is really important, kind of 90% of Make.com that you will use daily. So Make.com is a no-code tool that can help you in your everyday daily business, or it can help you to outsource your services, or even to open your own AI agency and provide services for others. So what is important about Make.com that you should know when you're working with Make.com? So there are three important things to know. There are modules, connections, and mappings. So these are the three core important things for you guys to know. So let me first start with the module. In Make.com, every action or every step you want to take, like sending an email, updating a spreadsheet, or calling ChatGPT, is done through something called a module. Once you open your account in Make.com, there is a free option, and you can take that free option and then later on you can upgrade. So that is pretty self-explanatory, so I will skip that part as I want to have this video really short and simple, and also to provide you guys a value. So we go to scenario. This is the most important part of Make.com. We will create a new scenario, and then we will have this large plus button. This is where we will look for the modules, so all apps modules. So depending on the type of the module, we will have that connection or no connection. For example, when we have tools, flow controls, this is not a app itself, so this is just kind of helper that help us in our providing the steps and implementing the workflow or scenario. So once we choose for example, we will do the implementation of email, then we can choose from the list of all these steps we can have within the module. So in our case, we will say, okay, we want to watch emails. So we can click here. And then we have these connections. We need to add a connection to this module so we can use this application. So to add connection, so for each it will be pretty much the same. It's always here on the top, because this is prerequisite, and we click add, and then we choose what connection we're going to use. In my case, I have my own email, and I have done this implementation here, and then based on the connection I have chosen my IMAP server and the port, username and password. But if you want to use something else, if you want to use, for example, Gmail, so we can type here Gmail, and then within the Gmail we can also find the similar step where we need to watch the email. So for example, if we say here create a draft for this Gmail, so you can see that we also have here the connection. When we click on the connection, it will prompt us to sign in with the Google. When we sign in with the Google, please note you need to have your own workspace. So this is a paid plan for Google, at least at this time of recording. And once you get the paid workspace with Google, with Gmail, then you will be able to integrate this with the Gmail. I have my own domain. I'm not using the Google workspace, so I will show you how this works here. So what is important here when we say because implementation for specific email modules is pretty much the same. So for example, I want to watch emails coming into my folder. I can click here and I can choose which folder I want to use. So for example, I have 2 connections I can use. So you will here have the list of all your connections. I will choose this one. And then I can choose the folder where I want to watch it coming. So for example, I want to watch my inbox. And for criteria, you can watch all emails, unread emails or read emails. So I will go for unread emails. And you can also have filtering here which specific email address to watch, what recipient, subject lines, and so on. But for now, this is enough. So I want to watch unread emails and I want to use classification. So this is my workflow scenario. I will save this. And now we have the settings, how we want to resolve this or how we want to have this set up. So because this is a first module, it will be triggered. So this is like our entry point in our scenario. We can choose how we want to proceed. Do we want from this time now, from some specific date, or we want to have all emails and all based on the criteria. So we said unread, and then we have the emails that we can list or we can choose from. So we will stick with from now on. And this is our first step done. To continue with our workflow, we will add a module. You can choose OpenAI. So when you choose an OpenAI, for example, in our workflow, we want to process the emails coming in. And then we want to have some kind of AI writer so that we don't write any emails, any responses, it will be done by AI. So we can have here create completion, and then we have still here the same, as you can see, connections. And from these connections, we can say add new. And then in OpenAI, for example, we can make a connection, and then we will get the API key. And then we proceed choosing a model, for example, 4.0 or 4.1, doesn't matter, whatever we choose. And based on that, we can add the prompt. And in the prompt, we can add a message, and we can say which message it's going to be. So we can say from please write an email response based on this email. And then so we here now are coming to this mapping. So this is, so let me just save this quickly. So this is input for this first module, including connection, is that we want this first module to watch the inbox. And we will have criteria unread emails. So this is our first, so here is output, this connection here. And then in this output connection, we have here the steps that we want to do. And when we click here, we will have this output parameters from our first module, and you can see it by the color. So we will say, okay, we will take the, we will take the text content from the email, and this output, so this is enough. We won't write anything more complex than this. And based on this output, we can save. And now we have prepared our AI writer, email writer, to write a response. So let's try this out. So let's see what's happening. So here we will have this magnifier, when we click on this, so this module didn't return because I need to choose where I want to start. So choose where I want to start, and then I will choose first from the list, and I say, like, for example, this one, and I say save, and let's see what will happen. Run. Quality of email will be shown. So click here, choices, messages, and the content is, so this is the content. Now we will add third step. So this will be also email. In this case, we will create a draft because we want to see what we are going to write back. And we can choose a specific folder where we want this email to be written. We can put it here in drafts, or we can put it somewhere else, but most common is to put it in draft. And then, so this is our third step. We had first to watch an email, now AI writer, this ChatGPT. And now when I click here, now we will have all these outputs from previous steps. So in our case, we need to reply, and to reply we need a sender email, so subject, so add recipient. Then when we click add recipient, we need to reply back. So reply back will be to the email address. Then we need a subject. So for the subject, we will type reply, so everything that simulate the manual workflow. And then we will use the subject line. And then in the content type, we can have plain text or HTML. So whatever you choose. For the email deliverability, I would put plain text. And for the content, we will take the AI writing. So we'll take the message, and we will take the whole content. So save. So let me also do one thing that I noticed. So let me just quickly make it better a little bit. And 4.0. So for this is my recommendation to you guys. Please write an email, whatever. And then we need to say, okay, this should be enough. Let's save it. And then let's run it again. So let me just, so the choose where to start from, I will just choose an email so we get tailored. So let's say this one, and then let's run it. I mean, it is tutorial for beginners, but doesn't make sense to have some really bad output. So I have chosen the, so see this, the model is perfect. So for ChatGPT 4.0 latest, see now the output is super. We can also provide our details so he can, or it can know. And now let's just map this thing. Another thing, so I don't forget, is the auto line. So when you click here, if you kind of move everything around, this will be auto lined. And let's just see the mapping. Mapping looks okay. So we can come to our email inbox, and this is the draft. So as you can see, it's like perfectly, like it's, in my opinion, it's perfect. So we just need to custom tailor the prompt, and this is good to go. So everything is custom tailored, and let's go back to our scenario. So this is our first functional workflow. So just to explain more about this scenario, because this is the most important, like this is 99% of your work with Make. So here you have possibilities for the scheduler. That's why we have this clock here. and you can choose depending of your workflow when you want this to be run. So for example, every day, and then you put some time, or you want to special days in a week, Monday, Tuesday, or you want days in a month, or you want specified date or on demand. So this pretty much make.com has you covered. And at some regular intervals you can put it like this, and then you will have this ready and set. So for example, if you want, so this is a good message here that you see. So always please save scenario, always save, because you can lose something really that you did and then you have to go all the way back. Another great thing about make.com is that you can easily export this blueprint. So this is called blueprint, or import blueprint, from someone, from a colleague, for you to download it. Then we have this explain workflow. So basically it will be jumping here, but it's always from the left to right. So this is a workflow in make.com. Another important thing for you guys to know is previous versions. So previous versions are great if you have made some changes and then it's not working again, or whatever problem you might have, then you can just revert back here and you say okay, and then it will go here. So see, now we have lost this last module, and if we want to go back to our last module, we just click here, say okay, and it will show our last module. Then we will save this. Here we will have our logs. Logs are really great because within the logs you can see if something went wrong. And also another great thing, I like it here, is this assistant. So if you have any issues with errors, then you can type here and it will point you. You don't need to leave this make.com and look elsewhere. So this is most important fundamental stuff that you need to know. And also here you can change this to something more meaningful if you have some name. So now we can run this again, and now I will show you how this how the logs are working. And as you can see, everything was success here, and then you say input and output, and everything what is important is called bundle. So bundle is basically a collection of this input. So for example, we have input bundle and we have output bundle, and this is pretty much the fundamentals of make.com. When it comes to more advanced stuff, I will make a second tutorial to explain the webhooks and to explain HTTP requests. So this is just at the beginning. With make.com you can build systems that replace hours of manual work. If this gave you kind of aha moment, then please hit subscribe. I will break down these systems every week with free tutorials and real world automations. So thank you for watching and keep automating.